What's going on, man? It's been a while. How you been?
Hey, what's up, man? It has been a minute. The holidays came and went, and getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I had a lovely food poisoning on Christmas Eve, and then that weekend flu for 7 days. So it's been a little out of production. So I apologize, but it's good to be back.
All good, man. You got to get your health right. You can't sit here and ignore your health because it's all you have. Fun fact: I have never had the flu ever.
This is the first time I've had it. Yeah.
Wow.
This is the first time I remember having it.
Are you vaccinated?
I never get the shot. But the thing is like my kids, my whole family had it, and like she just got one. The kids just got one. I didn't get one, but we were all sick of shit. So it was like flu A or something. But yeah, it was a little rough.
It's going around. That's what my wife was telling me. I never used to get the flu shot, since school, basically, until I had to work for the hospital. And when I worked for the hospital, dude, I had to get every immunization that you could imagine. Like I was getting shots for things I didn't even know people still caught, like the Black Plague. I was like, hold on, wait a minute, that's still a thing? Obviously that's not a thing, but that's the way it felt. So, now it's just second nature for me to just get the shot because it's free. I ain't got to pay for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a bad thing. But how do you feel? How do you feel your 23 year went, man? To recap it.
So probably it was a good year. I got to watch my baby graduate from high school. That was really cool. To watch her turn from, a baby girl to full-fledged adult, sending her off into the real world. That was life altering. You look back at your own graduation and your own life milestones. And, at the time you're like, yeah, those are huge milestones. But then like when you have kids and you look at your kids' milestones, you're just like, it helps you understand what your parents went through raising you, and that feeling of success that, your kid made it, like at least to that first big milestone in life with graduating high school. Now seeing her in college and, she's talking about moving out and stuff like that, like going on her own. And it's just like, your heart is skipping a beat because like it's your baby. You want to protect her, but at the same time, you're like, you can't hold on to her forever. You got to let her fly. And then, my son, he started high school like 2022 and then finished his first year of high school in 2023. Or no, sorry, he started high school in 2023. He started that past fall, and that was a huge transition. Like my son's now on his last skirt of schooling until college, and to me that's the biggest thing that we focused on this 2023 was just like our babies are growing. Like my wife, she cried when our baby graduated, and it's just, those are our two biggest milestones that we had. I mean, other than that, it was kind of like the status quo, worked, got some things done at work that were really accomplishing. We got another dog because, Lord knows we needed another one. Other than that, man, I almost forgot, and that makes me feel terrible, but I try not to think about it. I did lose my father in 2023, and that was a huge blow for my family, especially my mom. If I'm being honest, I still haven't processed it. I carry him around with me everywhere I go. He's all over the house. So, that was a really dark period of 2023. I was in a pretty deep depression for about a month. So, and lastly, for my 2023, I got to reconnect with one of my best friends who we started this pod together. We hadn't talked much since I had relocated to Chicago and came back. And so it was super cool when you reached out saying you wanted to do this. And that was a huge highlight of my 2023 because I get to reconnect with you, but also get to do something that I've been really, really considering doing on my own. I just didn't know where to start. So, that's my 2023 in a nutshell, kind of rambling. But what about you, man? How was your 2023?
Well, kind of the opposite of that. Yeah, definitely highlight of definitely reconnecting and starting this. It's been really cool. Yeah. But interesting enough, it's kind of the opposite of you're in, where people are coming out of the house. I had my second kid this year, so that was like some new life, and just kind of getting that, start a new job. That was pretty much my year. Didn't do much. It's interesting having a second kid, processing that, jealousy of the other one, but it's been cute. So yeah, just remembering how to take care of a baby. It's always a fun time. But yeah, I said those are the big things of the year. It was kind of a strange year. Yeah, deal with the whole layoff thing, and then fighting all the smart people in the world for jobs. Invested in a lot of Lego in my spare time. Started a few things. So it's been cool. But yeah, I'm definitely looking, I think, forward. I think there's a lot more in the works. So I'm kind of excited looking forward.
What's the age gap between your two children?
3 years.
3 years.
We
did. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say we wanted 2, but with the pandemic and then just life and the economy, we're like, oh, but then it was just like, oh crap, it's been 3 years if we do it, and so we actually tried to time it out. We wanted a smaller gap, but 3 years is not bad.
I was just curious because ours is 4. There was a very, very, very brief period where they were in the same schools together, and then it was just for like a year, and then obviously not anymore. So and then like me and my sister are 6 years apart, and we didn't really have a relationship until we were more adults. Because by the time I started growing up, she was in high school, off to college, stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to find that sweet spot of like where you try to plan to have that second child, because you want your children to be close to each other, but you don't want to have them like back to back. So you got to have that reprieve.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's funny because like my brothers were all 6 years apart, so I totally feel that. It's like you're not at that gap close enough to go hang out. You're just like, oh, I'm babysitting, or I'm, what I mean. So yeah, I think 6 years is a little too long, and then I knew we didn't want that. I wanted them to be close, so, or at least hopeful that they're close.
So pivoting to 2024, I don't like really saying resolutions, because that I feel like that's just an empty promise to yourself that you won't keep. So I look at it as more like self-improvement, because that's something that you can improve on year to year to year. Like for the past couple of years, I've been trying to take my health more serious. I don't eat as good as I should because I still got my big belly, but I definitely I work out every day. I've got my strength up. I'm trying to be heart conscious, stuff like that. So for yourself, for 2024, what's kind of something that you're looking at maybe altering, changing, doing less of, doing something better? Like, what's your kind of thought process going into 2024?
We're getting older.
For sure.
So I think, health is a big one. And I was actually kind of happy getting the flu, because I was kind of sick for almost 3 weeks there. But I've definitely lost a lot. So I'm like, I better take this as a springboard to, my stomach has shrunk. So I'm trying not to eat as much. The thing I'm worried about is being older, young kids, they're going to just run rampant, and I'm not going to be able to keep up. So that's a big thing for me, is just getting that energy levels back, being able to handle 2 crazy boys. They're going to be that way because I was. And so that's a big one for me. And then just kind of achieving some goals, musically, just stuff that I've kind of put off since the pandemic and starting a family. So I've kind of been family focused for so long that I've not done stuff for me. So, I've abandoned stuff that I was trying to do in life. And, I think it's really kind of just get back and at least attempt those, like podcasting, just, the music stuff and other projects, to at least try and accomplish them before I can't.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
What about you?
So 2024, I feel like it's going to be a big year for me. I turned 40 this year. So that's going to be a huge milestone for me. Honestly, I want to be a better husband and father. I don't look at myself as a bad husband and father, but I definitely need to be more present. Like, you know, me and my wife have had a lot of conversations where she feels like I kind of disappear down here to my space and don't really spend time with her. And, you know, I know the majority of it is we're not into a lot of the same things. Like, we do have things in common, but we don't have everything in common. She is my best friend, but it's like we're not gonna do every waking thing together. But I definitely, I need to be more present with her. And especially over the fall, winter months is always tough because I'm a huge football fan. And so I'm always watching college football and the NFL basically from the months of August all the way to January. And she understands that. Like, she knows, like, I really get into football. I watch every game that's on. But also on the days where football is not on, like, I need to put better effort of actually spending time with her. Like, I don't need to, like, come down here and game and stuff like that all the time. Like, I'll have time for that. So that's kind of my thing for 2024 is I just want to be more present in my wife's life and my kids' lives. Especially with my kids getting older, you know, they're slowly going to keep drawing more and more away to kind of do their own thing. So I want to try to get as much time with them as I can. And then the other thing I would like to do is I really want to take my health more seriously. You know, I've gained some weight that I had lost, and I just really want to get back on that horse of like I said, I work out every day, but it's more strength training. And I'm not big enough to the point where, like, the muscle is cutting out the fat. So I would like to really get back into cardio and just, like, getting the fat off to where I just, like, you know, I'm a healthy weight. Like, I'm not trying to be rail thin. I'm just trying to be, like, when I go to the doctor, she's just like, you're at a good weight. Like, you're at a positive weight that doesn't make me worry about your health. Yeah. 'Cause like you said, we're getting older, and health gets more important the older you get. And I want to be around. Like, I don't want to die young. You know, you hear these stories about these people sadly passing away at like 50, you know, 45, 50 because they're not taking care of their health as good as they could. You know, there are existential circumstances that can cause a death. We understand that. But there's also a lot that people can do to prevent an early grave. So, you know, I want to make sure I do that. Like, yeah, I don't want to live to be 100. But, you know, a solid 80, 85, that'd be really cool. That'd be a very full life. So, you know, I really want to take those two things very serious this 2024. And lastly, man, block out the noise, because this is going to be a rough year. And it's going to be a lot of things going on. And I just, like, I don't want to dwell in the negative that's going to be happening, because there's going to be a lot of it. And I just want to stay positive. Like, I want to cut out negative shit in my life. And I just, you know, I've turned semi-hippie, man. Like, I'm all about just good vibes. I'm all about good energy. Like, I don't want negativity in my life. I don't want bad juju in my life. Like, I want to be just oozing positivity, and I want the people in my life oozing positivity, because I firmly believe when you surround yourself with good people, good things happen. And that's the vibe I'm on this year. Like, that's the vibe I've been on for a while. So, you know, that's kind of how I see my 2024. Will it go that way? I don't know. But I'm hoping, you know.
The world's crazy right now, man. So yeah, I'm with you. It's just, yeah, try to stay on a positive note for sure, and then encourage others to do that, because yeah, it's like I wake up and, you know, you just see nonsense. You know, it's just not even like I almost welcome people and their crazy memes. Like, you know, usually I'm like, oh, that's whatever, but I'm like, man, give me something funny.
Yeah.
It's wild out there for sure. Outside of, yeah, those personal things, any, like, cool things you're looking forward to that on your radar?
New Lego sets. You know, I'm like you, obviously, huge Lego fan. So I'm looking for some cool sets this year. I do want to build something big this year. Either I'm looking at either the Lamborghini Sian or something like that, another Technic. Nothing else really, man. I mean, I guess I'm looking forward to see what movies are going to come out this year. I'm always looking at what movies come out. I just watched a trailer for a really interesting movie called Abigail that looks mad crazy. Like, oh, thumbs up, sorry. It's called Abigail, and the premise was unlike anything that I thought it was going to be. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but like, watch the trailer if you haven't yet. It was like, okay, that was a direction I was not expecting. It looks pretty good. Other than that, man, there's nothing really on the horizon that has me like jacked up, like has me amped. I did just get the new Game Informer that's showcasing the new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're bringing in the Sephiroth to the storyline, so I'm really excited for that. But I'm trying to debate if I'm going to wait for all of them to be released before I play them, or do I just play them as they come out? Because I haven't played the first one yet, the first remake yet. So it's like, I kind of want to wait till they're all out so I can just play the story fully through. Oh, I guess I am looking forward to this for some of our fans that don't know, or our listeners. I play a trucking game called American Truck Simulator, and I'm super obsessed with this game. I have like 800 hours in it. And they've been slowly building across America, and they just announced Missouri is the next state that they're doing. So I'm super amped for that. And they try their best to get as detailed as possible. Like, so far they're showcasing the Sprint Center in Kansas City, but they haven't showcased the Arch or anything yet. So I think as we get closer to the release date, we're going to get more stills of the development of Missouri. So I'm super excited about that. It's a fun game. My wife and kids pick on me all the time about playing it. They're just like, you're so weird, because I have a steering wheel and everything for this game, and you literally just drive a semi truck and deliver loads, and it's good times, man. It's one of my favorite things. So.
I've seen. I'm not gonna fault you for that. I mean, yeah, I've seen people pop up on my feeds, and like they have like a whole like truck cab in their house, and it looks like they're on a mountain. I'm like, so some of the shit that they're driving through, I'm like, what? And like, so I mean, it's a thing. So you're not the only one by any means. So yeah.
I'm a part of a bunch of different communities, and these setups these people have, I'm like, all right, I'm not that hardcore. Like, I'm up there, but you guys take it to a whole new level. So I guess the last thing I'm looking forward to 2024 is I'm going to start doing some mods to my car. For those of you who don't know, I have a Kia Stinger. And it's not like a super crazy, I can mod the crap out of it. But I can do a lot of tasteful mods, get me around to the 500 horsepower range that I want to be. And it's still like fun to drive and still an everyday driver. So I'm going to start doing some mods to it and make it a little bit nicer, a little bit quicker. So,
nice.
What about you?
Like, I was trying to think about that today, actually, and it's like, I know I'm forgetting a bunch. Fallout TV show. As much as I don't like Bethesda and stuff now that they're sold to Microsoft.
They're sold.
But still, I've played, like you, like definitely way too many hours playing Fallout. Dune Part 2.
I never watched the first one.
It's really good. The original movies were terrible. I love the books. I thought they did a fantastic job. And I like Timothée Chalamet. I don't know why. I like him.
It's something about his face that just like, I want to kiss him and punch him at the same time. So it's like, I get that. I just stay away from him.
He's diverse. Like, have you seen Don't Look Up on Netflix?
Yeah.
He just plays some kind of like trash bag kid or something. But like, he's actually really good. So I'm excited for that because they've done a really good job. So I'm a huge Last Airbender fan and Legend of Korra. I love that cartoon. I love anime.
Well, I liked it until M. Night Shyamalan made.
No, not that movie was terrible. But I have the comics. I have the stuff in between the stories, and the live action that they're doing looks amazing. And they're using
it's on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm. So originally, the people who made the show or did the anime are the people responsible of the live action. So I was like, yes. Then they broke off. I'm like, oh, now it's going to go to shit because it's Netflix. But it looks good. The trailer looks good, and I'm very excited to see. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that one. God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn are both in pre-production.
For TV shows or for movies?
TV shows. I think.
I was about to say, you kind of got to do, like, I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't played them yet, but I heard the story is really good. But I know with God of War, with how expansive that story is, like, you couldn't do a movie. You have to do a TV show.
And if they're smart, they would just start right from the beginning. You have to start.
Oh, yeah, you have to. You have to start from the first God of War.
Because you have to. You can't just... I mean, the new stuff is good. I just started playing Ragnarok. It was hard to start, weirdly, after finishing Spider-Man 2, which I didn't tell you I finished. But we'll talk about we'll talk about that another day. We have a whole episode about Spider-Man coming up. So,
yeah.
But it was really hard shift to just like a platform.
Right, yeah.
Where I can't jump and shit, but then the stories, so I'm enjoying it. But, yeah, God of War is on Prime, and then Horizon Zero Dawn is on Netflix. So they better pour all their money into it, because both of those have to be massive amount of money to make those work.
So I feel like with God of War, you could capture a bigger audience because that game has been around for longer. So older people have played the originals. Like we played all the originals. Mm-hmm. And like you said, from what I've been reading, because I haven't played any of the new God of Wars yet. I have them. I haven't played them yet. And from what I've heard, people have been mixed about the reboot versus the older ones. And we're talking like even the ones from like PSP days too. And that's why I'm kind of like if you're going to make a God of War, you have to start from the beginning, because the story is epic. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so epic. And I mean, like, and if anybody remembers God of War 3, to me that was the best God of War made. Like, that game, because the ending of that game was so satisfying. Like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody if you haven't played it, but if you haven't played God of War 3, go back and play it and just beat the game. And the ending of that game, you just I exhaled. I was just like, like that was worth it. You know what I'm interested they haven't done? They haven't done, like, I know they did an Uncharted movie. You should do an Uncharted TV show, because I feel like you could really. They did make a TV show?
No, they do. They need to redo that.
Yeah, the movie was terrible. Like, nothing against Tom Holland, great actor. Nothing against Mark Wahlberg, but the movie was trash. But if you make that a TV show, because again, that has great storytelling. Mm-hmm. Everything Naughty Dog does is just. Sure. I mean, you saw what The Last of Us did on HBO. Like, it broke the internet. So you can't sit here and tell me Naughty Dog doesn't make great stories. So, yeah, I kind of feel like, no brainer. Just go back and make Uncharted a TV show. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
Oh, you're good.
Tangent.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to both those. But yeah, it needs to be done right. And yeah, thank God for The Last of Us, because that shows you just follow the story. And people will watch it and they just won a bunch of awards. Just follow the story. Don't try to change it. Yeah.
It also drummed up people to go out and buy consoles that don't even play consoles so they could play the video games.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Like it was kind of like a two-edged sword. You got the gamers who were just like, "Oh, the show rocks. It sticks to the story." And you got the TV viewers that were just like, "Yo, we need to go play this video game. Like, this is cool." Like, you brought together two different communities, and I thought that was amazing. So, like you said, whenever you're trying to make an epic video game into a TV show, follow the story, because the story is what made that game epic. Yeah. Like, can you imagine if they made a Final Fantasy TV show? Like here in America, like I'm pretty sure there's probably an anime in Japan that we don't really know about, but you know, like they did Advent Children. Advent Children was, in my opinion, fucking incredible. Like, fucking incredible, because it kept with the originality of the storyline. Like, they didn't try to create something new. They were just like, "Yo, this works. Let's keep this shit going." And they brought a kind of different viewpoint, but it was still kind of your same favorite characters that you loved. Like, to me, Final Fantasy VII, best storyline in a video game I've ever played. Like, I know a lot of people rave over Zelda, and I get that. Zelda's a classic, but Zelda didn't capture my attention like Final Fantasy VII did. Final Fantasy VII, to me, had every fucking emotion you could imagine playing a video game. Like, I cried. I cried when she died. Like, that's how much I loved Final Fantasy VII. So, you know, anyway, I digress. Going off on a tangent again. This is why we can't talk video games, man. It goes there.
Speaking of, that's actually kind of funny because I just read something today, and I have to validate this, so don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I heard Sony announced a partnership with Nintendo
What?
to do a Zelda game, and it was really under the radar. And I'm like, I need to validate this
What?
because I don't
That's
know.
their flagship title for Nintendo. Why would you share that with Sony?
Well, Mario did great, and Mario was fun. I enjoyed Mario.
Oh, the Odyssey. You played Odyssey?
No, Mario.
Or not
movie.
Odyssey. The movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Sony's doing a film partnership, not a game
Yes,
partner.
yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you had me. That's why I'm like, hold on.
Oh no. So
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So yeah, and then because Sony's just cranking out all their IPs,
Right.
And so I have to validate this, but the article I was reading was in line with other stuff. But I do think that's interesting if you go back, if you know anything about the history of Sony and Nintendo, because the PlayStation was originally a combo Nintendo, and then something happened, and so the only reason we have PlayStation is because of a fallout between Sony and Nintendo. So it's kind of funny 30 years later or whatever that that they would do a partnership for one of their IPs. But Sony's also a movie and they're Japanese, so it would make sense you would give it to your friends in Japan.
I guess my question would be, so obviously I think was it DreamWorks that did Mario for them?
Illumination.
Yeah. The Illumination. So that would have been the people that did the Minions. So my thing is, why not go back to them unless you're planning to make the Zelda movie live action and then you go to Sony?
Yeah, I think it's live action.
Because obviously Sony has Spider-Man, and obviously we've had some rough history with Spider-Man movies. 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Anyway, but whenever we finally went to Homecoming and Tom Holland, like they brought themselves back to prominence. And then obviously, in my opinion, Spider-Man No Way Home is the greatest Spider-Man movie ever fucking made. That's just my personal opinion because all the feels in that movie. Cried I don't know how many times. But that would make sense to go to them because it's just like, hey, you guys do live action really well. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. If that's true, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, we need to fact check that.
It was weird. I read it in an article, and I was like, they were even like admitting like, hey, it was subtle. I'm like, why isn't this all over my feeds? But yeah, because people have been wanting a Zelda movie for a long time.
You could easily make one with how much content you have on it. So.
Yeah. And then maybe we could actually have a linear storyline that makes sense. So like Zelda, but it's just
like how many versions of Gandalf can we get?
It's just like, and then, yeah, it's just kind of like Metroid. It's like, what's going on? Or Mario. I'm like, you just crank it out. But yeah, so I think there's a lot of cool things coming out. I do want to kind of throw something your way. You were talking about that Abigail movie. Have you seen The Creator?
I have not. I saw that it is now on streaming. I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah, I saw it.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I've heard it was really good.
I enjoyed it. It was great sci-fi.
Got you.
I was really impressed. And I just randomly heard it was like, if you guys watched, some guy at work was talking about it. And I'm like, oh, I saw that. Plus it has that guy from Tenet. And
yeah, it has it's
David
Denzel
Washington.
Washington's son. Yeah.
It's whose son?
Denzel Washington's son.
David Washington is Denzel. How did I not know that?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like him. So first.
No, I mean he killed it. He's been in a few things, and I'm just like, that's really good.
Yeah. So fantastic. I think you'll if you're into sci-fi.
I have to check it out. I'll see if the wifey wants to watch it this weekend.
I think everybody should check it out. One little secret. Give me a second. So I have not told my wife about this. So.
Oh, I'm jelly. Where'd you find that at?
It was on sale on Amazon.
Is it still on sale?
It was like around Black Friday. I've had it.
Fuck!
I got it.
Dude, I'm jelly.
It was out of stock,
Oh, man.
But I just thought it was funny you mentioned that.
Nice, congrats, man. I'm gonna have to find one on sale, dude. That's awesome.
I missed
Let me know
out.
how the build goes for sure.
I missed out on the Bugatti. I had one, and then someone beat me to a sale on one. So I've missed out on a couple sets. So I at least got that one as a win.
Yeah, that's a huge win too. The Xeon is one of the like really big collector ones lately.
Yeah,
So congrats. Are you using a tool to find your deals, or are you just like on Amazon randomly and you just see it?
So this time of year, or like when Black Friday hits, I scope all day. It's just
Got you.
I have filters on like slick deals or like cheap ass gamer, or I try to do all my shopping at the end of the year. So I buy
Gotcha.
all my games, all my sets, anything. I just kind of keep an eye on. So I got deals on some other things. You just have to like get it fast. So like Amazon and Walmart, they had a bunch of deals on sets, but they released them at like 3 a.m. And so I'd wake up at 7, see the deal, and it'd be sold out. Like the Daily Bugle, which is like what I've been trying to get.
The tower, yeah.
$240.
Dude.
I missed it, and I waited and I waited, and now they're just sold out everywhere, and it's going to retire, and I'm pissed.
Oh, that sucks. So check out. It might be a little pricey, but it doesn't hurt to look there. So you know me, I'm a sneakerhead. So I'm on StockX a lot for some of my sneakers. But StockX sells everything, not just sneakers. And I've seen Lego sets on there, and they have favorable pricing. So like when I got my BMW bike back here, and I got it from Best Buy for that deal, they had that same deal on StockX that day too. So I would definitely just look there if you haven't yet, just time to time for some sets. Again, you got to be careful because some people obviously will just price gouge. So
Well, I was worried. I actually think I looked on that and like Mercari and some other stuff, but then I'd heard people like even with shoes, same thing. They would get just fake.
So
I was
with
like,
with StockX, with the shoes at least, if you pay extra, they do a verification. So you can like just buy your shoe and you just kind of hope that I'm going to get the right shoe. But like one of the pairs of shoes I bought from there, I paid extra for the verification where the person sends them to StockX first, and StockX verifies that it's a legit shoe before they even ship it to me. So I'm not sure if they do that for other things, but I know for shoes they do that because you have people that will send like, I've heard horror stories of people buying like, I collect Jordans. I've heard horror stories of people buying Jordans and they literally have an empty box. Like they open up and there's no shoes. You got to be careful when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, to tie back, what else do you have for 2024? Because we went down a rabbit hole, so we got to keep on task.
big things. Definitely looking forward to rolling out more of this pod. That's a big thing I'm excited about. I think there's a lot happening this year, and there'll be a lot of surprises this year for giving us stuff to talk about. So I'm excited for more of that.
So the last thing that I at least wanted to bring up to you that I wanted your thoughts on, because I know you're a Subaru stan. Like, I know you love your WRX. What are your thoughts about them killing off the STI, but building a WRX that won't be as, what's the word I'm looking for, as enthusiast focused as an STI, but it's supposed to be better than like a premium WRX. It's supposed to be an in-between. So the backstory, I don't know if you read, they had to kill off the STI because of emissions here in the States, because our emissions were too stringent, I guess. And so instead of them having to redesign stuff for the STI, they're just like, we're just not going to bring it to America. So they're giving us a different car. They're giving us, I want to say it's called the WRX ST or something like that, or I have to look it up.
The one they just released it. Like,
it could be out because I saw the article a while ago, so it could be out now.
I know what
but I wanted to know your thoughts on that, because there was at one time before I got the Stinger, I was going to buy an STI, but we and my wife went to go check it out. It was just too small for our needs because we have adult kids and we have dogs and stuff, and it just wouldn't have fit for what we needed. So I had to pass on it because the price point was really good. So what are your thoughts that they're killing off the STI in America?
So it kind of pisses me off because they stopped making my RX-8 for emissions, which makes sense because that car was terrible.
Yeah.
for emissions. Love the
Design
car.
concept was
Love the
awesome,
car.
but
I missed
practicality
that.
was not there.
Missed that car. So I was kind of rolling up on 100,000 on that car. So I traded in for the WRX, and I got a good deal on the WRX. And to my feeling, the Subaru was supposed to hold value.
Yeah.
And it still holds value. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've kept mine stock. And I have really low miles on it for a 17. And it's just like right over 30,000. So really good mileage.
Yeah, good mileage.
And my whole point was to wait until Subaru makes an STI with a new engine. The STI engine was 15 years old. So it's
Yeah.
like my engine and
was
mine.
it a 2.5 Boxer?
It's 2.4, I think. It might be
2.4
2.5. I think I think it's 2.4 or 5. But it's like the same damn engine. And
Right.
back in the day, the WRX, that engine was awesome. You got cars that are just 600 horsepower like nothing nowadays. So it doesn't make sense. So I was like, I'm waiting for a good STI. And the fact that, yeah, they just kind of killed it off. And I've heard rumors of like making it like a special hybrid with some batteries. And I'm okay with that still. But yeah, I mean, I haven't touched my car because I've wanted an STI. But I think it's kind of annoying that it'd be the second car to kill off because of emissions. It's just like, well, I'm just going to, what's my next car? I'm going to get something
Right.
else, and then they're going to kill that off. So I don't know what they're doing, but I do find it annoying with Subaru that I think, yeah, they released that ST model with like Pastrana and stuff, and they're like, hey, check it out. And like, you can't, people don't want it. It's not that much better where I would go and trade my car. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I hate the back end on the new models anyway. It looks like a Civic.
Yeah. It does
but-
look like a Civic.
So I'm like, I just think the new models are ugly. So it's like, ugh. But I did hear that they might do something special with it, but I think Subaru just needs to crank out, especially at the price point. Talking about a $45,000 car.
Yeah.
You can buy a used Corvette C7. Well, maybe not right now, but like,
For a while there, you could buy just a LT1 C7 for around 45 to 50 with low miles on it.
yeah. So like,
And you're going to get way better performance out of it.
yeah. So it's like Subaru, like, and you know how to make those things. You know how to make this stuff. The technology's there. You can crank out 4 to 450 on a new STI model, and people will buy it. But they don't.
Yeah.
They came out with that shitty little ST that was like, this is awesome. And I'm like, it's just like everybody's like, you throw a turbo in a BRZ, and people are gonna go crazy
Yeah.
because that's the same engine in my car. It's just two.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I thought it was the same engine in there.
Yeah. So
It's just
like,
it's NA on the BRZ, right?
what do you mean?
It's not boosted, is it? It's
No,
naturally
that's what I'm saying.
aspirated.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
my engine just tuned a little differently and no turbo.
Yeah.
And so like the horsepower is real light, but so I'm like,
Yeah, it's
they're
like right
a-
at like 200 horse or something.
yeah, like they're afraid of performance, and like all the gearheads want, especially like nowadays with everything cost and everything. If you can get a car, a good Subaru that's badass out of the gate, you don't have to do that much to it. Because we all know people that have had, 650 horse out of a tuned '08 STI. You know what I mean? So I mean, you can
Bubble eye, baby.
you can get good performance out. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. I feel like I'm really disappointed in a lot of manufacturers lately, but that could also be based on the economy. But yeah, I don't know what my next car will be. Now that I have all-wheel drive, though, it's like it's gonna be really hard for me to go to like a rear wheel.
So like, I had a Ford Escape, which was fine. It was practical, family hauler. I had trunk space. But with me being a gearhead, I wanted something that more spoke to my personality. My wife had the SUV. I didn't need an SUV too. Like, I wanted something that was fun but practical. And so, like, when I started doing my car search, I was kind of in the boat that you were in. I'm like, what the hell am I going to buy? I was all over the place, man. I mean, when my search started, I was looking at getting a Jeep Gladiator. Like, I was going to become a Jeep bro. Like, I was like, all right, let me get a Jeep. I never had one. You can get them in a 5-speed or a 6-speed. That'll be cool to go back to a manual. But the more I started looking at them, I'm just like, why am I going to buy this thing? Like, I don't need a Jeep. Like, and my wife was just like, you're never going to have fun in it. Like, you're always, like, she's like, you're going to get tired of it. You're going to be like, why did I buy this thing? She's like, it's not sporty. It's not fun. Like, you can take your doors off, but you're never going to take it mudding. Like, so why buy it? And I was like, okay, fair point. So I moved away from there. So then I was like, okay, what sports car can I get? And immediately my wife was like, no 2 doors. And I was just like, well, that kind of eradicates like Mustangs and Camaros and stuff. But I also knew I couldn't really get, my only car couldn't be a rear-wheel drive car. Like I because of where we live and the weather here is too unpredictable, I needed something that was more, hey, I can drive it year-round if I need to. And I had forgot about the Stinger when I was looking. So when I first started looking, going to sedans, I looked at the STI, which I was kind of 50-50 on buying because I knew we weren't like super close at the time, but I still didn't want you to be upset if I got an STI because I knew that you wanted one and I didn't want you to be like, man, fuck this guy, he got an STI. So I was like 50-50 on buying one. But again, like I said, when we and my wife went to look at it, it's just too small for our needs. And the price point, I couldn't justify the price I was paying for the car of what I was getting. And like you said, the old engine really bothered me. It was like, you guys have had this car for years and you haven't developed a new engine for it yet. And that was speculation from all the gearheads that were just like, yo, they're going to drop a new engine. Like, they're going to drop a new engine. And then you hear that they just killed the car and you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't what's supposed to happen. So then I started looking at like Golfs. So I looked at the Golf R. That car is outrageously expensive for how small it is. Mm-hmm. It's almost a $50,000 car. And I was like, it's a toaster on wheels. Like it looks good and it's quick. Like it's quick for what it is. Cause I mean, literally it's a small package. The thing has 300 plus horsepower and it has all wheel drive. The thing is quick. But it was just like, I'm not paying $50,000 for a Volkswagen, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's weird. So then I was like, if I'm in the $50,000 range and higher, then I need to move myself up. So I started looking at Audis, Mercedes, BMWs. Fuck BMW for their ugly ass grills. I will never forgive them for the grill they put on the 4 Series. Like, why would you do that? You're savage. Mercedes, like, I feel like Mercedes is losing their AMG side, like their loud side, like that kind of visceral side they had with AMG. Like, I feel like the new AMGs that come out, like they're a bore. Like they don't, like the C63, they don't even make the C63 AMG anymore. Like they're killing that off. Like, if you want a nice AMG, you got to get an SLS, and who the hell has $200,000 just sitting around for a small ass car like that? Like, so then I went to Audi. Me and my wife test drove an A4. I tell you, Joe, that was the most boring, bland car I've ever been in. Like when me and my wife got in the car, we looked at each other and we both said, "This feels like a rental car." Like, and it's a damn Audi, and it felt cheap. And at that point, I was like, I don't even want to look at the other ones because the only other car I was considering was an A5 or an S5, and I was like, for the price point of that, like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. So then my buddy turned me on to the Stinger, and the Stinger checked all the boxes. It has 5 doors. It's a hatch, so I have a huge amount of trunk space. It's all-wheel drive. It's luxury without breaking the bank. And yeah, like, it's a Kia. I know that turns a lot of people off. Like, when I started doing research and kind of seeing what people said, they were like, that's the most thing we get. It's just like, I can't believe this is a Kia. Like, well, if you actually did the research on it, the person that designed the Stinger actually was from BMW, and he actually designed like the 5 Series, and so he wanted to make something that could compete with the 5 Series and with the Mercedes E-Class and stuff. And it's quick enough for me. Like, it's not melt your face fast, but my car is plenty quick. It gets up and goes. It sounds good. It looks good, and it's unique. Like, I do see Stingers on the road, but I don't see a lot, and it doesn't look like these bland ass cars that you see everywhere you go. Like, it doesn't look like it's like a Matchbox car that they just put everywhere. Like, the design was unique. And I was torn between getting the Kia Stinger or the Genesis G70, because that's the older the upscale brother of that car. They're both on the same platform, same engine powertrain, and same all-wheel drive system. But the G70 is more like, when I was looking up the difference between the two, everybody said if you're looking for like visceral performance based car, get the Stinger. Like, it has a better feel. Like, it makes you feel more connected to the car. Versus if you get the G70, you're more like, it's more refined. Like, it's more like you can tell you're in a luxury car. And yeah, it's quick, but you're not like hammering it when you go anywhere. You're just like, I have the power if I need it. Kind of like with a Bentley or something like that, where you know they're fast, but you don't see them speeding around. They were like, the G70 is like that. Like, you know you're quick, but you don't really get on it. You don't make noise in it. You're here to look good. With you being into cars like I am, man, I'm just letting you know, like, the search is going to be hard because you got to check off all these boxes, and then you got to find out what you like. Like, my car is dead now. Like, this 2023 was the last year for the Stinger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they killed it off because the sales were starting to tank. So I got mine at the last second. My hope is that the value of it's going to start going back up. You know, it hovers right now. I've lost close to 10 grand, and that's expected. You know, it's been a year. But I have low miles on my car. I've had it for a little over a year now, and I haven't even crested 10,000 miles yet. So, but I know once I start modding it, that'll start messing around with the valuation and all that. But there is talk that some people think that Kia is going to bring it back in a hybrid or electric platform. So fingers crossed. That'd be cool. But yeah, man, I mean, I hope you find whatever you get when you're ready to look for a car. Like, just don't be rash. That's what I had to learn was patience. Like, you know, just don't jump into the first thing that fancies you. Like, you know, talk to the wife. Like, make sure that, you know, she has her input in it. Make sure you're thinking about your kids for down the road. Because, like, I don't plan on ever getting rid of my Stinger. I plan on keeping that until the wheels fall off. So,
yeah, my 3-year-old wants my WRX. It's like, my car. I'm like, I mean, I can hold on to it.
Right. No skin off my back.
Yeah. It's another 13 years before you can drive it, but, you know, sure, man. But yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head with the cars, is that with everybody trying to hit these zero emissions, or not zero emission, but carbon neutral is the word I'm looking for. I just think a lot of people are stepping back to reprogram what they're coming out with. So I think we're going to have some dull years, but I think you're kind of right. Like, here in a couple of years, or, you know, 3-4 years, we're going to start seeing a demand for more. And I think once they figure out how to get these like hybrids that are badass and, you know, using less fuel and more mileage, which I'm totally for. I mean, kind of like the GTR, the same thing. It's like they're going to redo that whole car as a weird, like, hybrid kind of thing too.
Took them long enough. That car is over 10 years old. Yeah,
so like they're taking a step back. Like, so I think everybody's kind of redoing that, and just kind of, and it takes a while to develop a car. So I think, yeah, I might just sit on mine until cool shit comes out. So
I was gonna say, me and my wife, we have talked about it, and when the Stinger's paid off, which hopefully will be in a couple of years, because I'm paying way more than what my payment is, because I want to pay it off quick. I plan to go with electric as my daily driver, and the Stinger will be my fun car. And I'm looking at going Rivian. Like, I just,
cool.
I'm, as much as I love the tech in a Tesla, their build quality is terrible in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Their price point is a little high for what I want, and I just don't want to give any money to Elon for personal reasons. So, and to me, Rivian is one of their, I want the truck, the R1T, because I want the versatility of it, where, you know, I have a bed if I need it. It's rugged. Their all-wheel drive system is insane, and it's one of the top two competitors for Tesla. You know, it's Rivian and it's Lucid, and Lucid is just way too damn expensive, but the R1T, it has a decent price point for what I can afford, and I just think it'll be a nice electric vehicle to have.
The thought of that is that I do see those here once a week. So
yeah, I see them all the time.
They look interesting, and I'm like, oh wow, those are really on the road. So people like them, and I think we need more competition for Tesla and good quality builds.
Yeah.
But so those are pretty cool. I'll give you that. But and then with the technology, I think if the price point comes down, we'll see a nice shift of more affordable options too.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the EV race, it's cooling off. But when you look at the surveys that they do, most Americans are of the same mindset. They don't like how limited the range is, and they don't like the charging options. Now, obviously, Tesla has opened the supercharger network to all cars because everybody's now adopting their standard for charging. So eventually we might get to that place where, we'll have efficient charging for everybody, because right now Tesla does have the best charging network. I can't take that away from them. But I'm like you, I like to see healthy competition. I don't like to see one person dominating the market. And granted, Tesla was the first adopters. They had the Tesla Roadster, but their real car took off when the Model S dropped in 2012. And that really put Tesla on the map. And, now Tesla is, they are up there as one of the most valuated car makers in the history of cars. For me, I just you got to have options to really get the people going, and you got to get the price of these cars down. I spec'd out a Model S, and it wasn't even a Plaid, and it was still going to be $109,000. And I'm like, this ain't even a Plaid. If I go into the Plaid, it's going to be $140. I understand people buy these cars, but who the hell just has $109,000 laying around to buy a car? And it's not even a one-off car. It's not even a special car. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, please believe your boy's going to go get a C8 Z06. That's what I would get if I'm spending that kind of scratch. Which, that thing, it's bonkers. I don't know if you've seen the E-Ray yet, man. Dude, the E-Ray is a game changer. An all-wheel drive Corvette. Come on. I can't wait to see that thing on the road. I think it's going to be... I think you're going to start seeing people, they're going to stop buying, Lambos and shit, and you're going to see them buying these E-Rays because the performance is that insane on this car. And it's to see Corvette come that far is just cool as hell, dude.
Yeah.
Tell your stepdad to buy an E-Ray. And then take us for a ride.
He just bought the 70th anniversary edition C8.
Oh, so you got a C8 now?
He has a C8. He sold C7, but it's
still, he got rid of his C7.
Yeah,
no
room in the garage. But it's the white limited edition. They only came in white or black, and he got the white one with the stripes.
Gotcha.
He's already modded it up. His exhaust scares me.
Super loud.
It's because he has the remote thing, and I don't know he's starting it. I'm oh shit. Damn, dude. So loud. Your neighbors.
The only thing I would have to get used to is that center console with the buttons down.
It's weird. It's like a spaceship. Yeah. It hugs you in. It's actually... I'm not a huge Chevy person, but what they've done in even the C7, C8, and they're producing a badass car that's keeping up, and it looks great. Yeah, it's...
I really like the styling of the C8. I can't trash them at all for that. It's phenomenal work, and just to see it up close, it's super super nice. But and the performance of the Z06 and then the E-Ray stuff. It's why spend 3 times as much on a new label or a new badge or a different badge when you can have. Legit, these vets are competing with the European big boys.
Yeah,
that's saying something.
So, but that goes into your competition of that's healthy. So if you bring that price point down, you get more people out there getting these performances. Here in a couple of years, we can buy, half of that and get some badass performance out of a different type of car. So I'm hoping to see that for sure.
We're still going to see the power wars, man. That's a given. Yeah, everybody wants to be faster. Everybody wants to have that one car there where they're just this car is badass. So, just give it time. Like you said, I think the hybrid tech's going to take off, and then we're going to start seeing some, you got to think when a big three, or when the three-headed monster was released in the LaFerrari, the 918 Spider, and the McLaren P1. That's the first time we had seen hybrid married to super ultra high performance cars. You know, you saw it in F1 and stuff, but now we saw it on the road. And I think that was that foot in the door that manufacturers were just like, oh, we can tap into some crazy power if we're piggybacking this off of hybrid systems. Because now all that lag or all that delay in power you were getting from a naturally aspirated or boosted engine is being made up for with that electric motor. Like now you just have performance all the fucking time.
Is it the Jesco hybrid?
Yeah, it's a V8 hybrid. It puts out like 1900 horsepower or something crazy like that.
Yeah, like so.
Yeah.
As an example of, I'm a huge Koenigsegg fan.
Dude, Koenigsegg makes some of the most beautiful and scientifically advanced cars I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like they create new technology. Like name another company that is doing that right now. Like he's creating new tech. Like so did you ever hear about the Regera R? So it was a car that only had one gear. And people, like, he was worried about people being concerned about it having one gear. Like, it just had a gear that goes. It doesn't shift. But he was so concerned of people worrying about, like, the car, like, blowing up or something, that he had his people put into the computer of the car, like, a fake transmission. So it has paddle shifters, and it simulates you shifting gears, but it's not really shifting gears. It just keeps going in the one gear. Like, the shit this guy thinks of, man. Like, seriously. Christian von Koenigsegg is... He is... I can't even... Like, I just want to sit down with him for an hour and just, like... Where do you come up with this stuff, man? Because you've created some of the most bonker cars that we've ever seen. And they are monsters. The Jesco is it's a literally driving piece of art that will melt your face off. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your thunder. The Jesco is...
Yeah. It just proves the point of what we're talking about. Yeah, there's that technology, and if as long as these lower tier manufacturers tap into some of that, we're going to get more power. Going to go all the way back to the STI. If you make an STI at that same concept, if you're going to charge $45,000 to $50,000 for your car, like give us 400 some horsepower out of your little 2.4, hybrid, So I mean, it's the potential's there. Just make it happen. So then people have done it.
Yeah.
So we just need to see it trickle down to us common folk.
I think it'll get there. It takes time. Like you said, they got to develop the technology, but it takes time, and I think we'll get there. It's just, keep the cost down. Like, what's sad is that, right now the average cost of a new vehicle, I think they said is like, did it crest 40 grand yet? It might be over $40,000, the average price for a new vehicle, and that's not ideal. Like, we need to go back to the era of where cars were affordable. I'm not saying they need to be dirt cheap, like $15,000, but you got to think some families out here don't make that kind of money where they can afford that car. We need to make affordable cars. You need to make cars that can go longer. Like, gas is going up. Everybody's wanting to be carbon neutral or at least lower their carbon footprint. Start putting out more hybrids. Like Toyota, one of the things they did, the new Camry coming out, no standard engines. They're all hybrids now. You cannot get a Camry that's not a hybrid. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. Like, it's smart. Like, the Camry is a well-sold car. It's going to sell. And now people can get great gas mileage out of it. Tell me where's something wrong with that.
Well, it is one of the top 10 most consistently stolen cars. So I wonder if that'll just make it more stolen.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the last 10 years, it's been on the list of one of the most stolen vehicles.
I always thought Dodge Chargers were the most stolen vehicle.
It depends on your area. There's a lot of
true.
Subarus are stolen in the northwest, but over the whole country, Camry's been one of the most consistently stolen.
Kias are up there now.
Yeah, they're still on the list too. Yeah.
Well, we gave you guys a long episode tonight since we've been on a hiatus for a few weeks. We had a lot to talk about, and obviously there's going to be way more to talk about as 2024 rolls through. I just want to say for everybody out there, be safe. this next couple of weeks, if you're in the Midwest area, we're going through a very, very, very bad cold snap. So stay safe. Don't get caught out in that.
Bring your
Go to the
dogs
store,
inside,
gear up.
please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, if you have outside animal, please bring them inside. Don't go out unless you need to. Don't have your kids outside unless you really need to. And if they need to go out, bundle them up, please. And let's hope we have enough warming centers for the homeless out there. We don't want to see anybody stuck out in these elements. So let's hope your town or your city has enough warming centers to take care of the homeless people that are out there. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think next time we should I think we should give them the Spider-Man episode. So
Let's go!
I'm done. I finished.
Did you 100%?
I haven't 100%ed it yet.
I 100% it.
I'm like 89, 90. I'm close.
Yeah.
I've done most of everything. I just need to platinum it. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Oh, that game, dude. That game. I can't wait for new content.
Yeah. So I think it's been Chad's been waiting for a long time. So I think we're gonna do our next episode, a big spoiler nerd talk on that, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. But yeah, I think that'd be next week. So for sure. Until next time, hope everybody stays safe, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace, listeners.
All right, later.